Okay. Now, look at number 2. Number 2 is a little bit different because you're not solving for speed. You are. So, it says if a car moves with an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour, for an hour, it will travel a distance of 60 kilometers. How far will it travel if it continues this average rate for 4 hours? Okay? Now, this should be pretty simple. You could probably do this one in your head. However, I do want you to show the math on this. So, if we're trying to solve for distance, all right? Distance is going to be equal to, speed times time. Everybody understand how I got that equation?
Yes.
Look.
Yes.
Speed.
We don't need to go over it.
Not everybody's shaking their head yes. So, speed equals distance divided by time. So, if I multiply both sides by t, that's going to give me distance equals time times speed. I just moved t over to get distance by itself. All right. Now, the speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Time is 4 hours. So my distance that I can cover is going to be 240 kilometers. Because hours will cancel out. You'll be left with kilometers. All right. Look at number 3. This says a runner makes 1 lap around a 200-meter track in a time of 25 seconds. What was the runner's average speed? So in this case, again, you're solving for speed here. Speed equals distance divided by time. The distance is 200 meters. The time is 25 seconds. So 200 divided by 25, that's going to give you what? 8 meters per second. Okay? That's my answer.
Oh, we might have done this with Miss Henry, did we?
I feel like we did this a lot, like every
With
single
Miss Henry.
Yeah.
I don't
we do this every
remember
year.
ever paying attention in there though.
Her, I don't remember her teaching.
Oh.
But I missed science last year. It was easy.
You know what I miss? Miss
We
Backus's
come back
room.
to standards-based learning. I took that for granted.
Yeah, I used to just say I hated it because I learned nothing, and now I like kind of wish I learned nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like you could ask me something.
All right.
And I won't know the answer.
Remember the little test we took?
Skip down to number 7. Skip down to number 7. All right, this starts to get a little bit trickier. If you traveled 1 mile at a speed of 100 miles per hour and another mile at a speed of 1 mile per hour, your average speed would not be 50.5 miles per hour. Okay? So what would your average speed be? All right, so the average speed, again, speed equals distance divided by time. What is my distance?
2 miles.
2 miles. What is my time?
2 hours.
No, we don't.
We don't know that.
We don't know. Yeah,
Not
I
yet.
don't think we know.
So 100 miles per hour. And one.
Oh, wait a
1
second.
minute.
I'm sorry.
What's the answer?
It'd be 1 minute, wouldn't it?
I'll look it up on Google, guys.
No, you're not looking it up on Google. So one thing that we forgot, okay, is
have to calculate the time.
we actually need to do these separately.
Because it doesn't give us the time.
So 100 divided by 100
It would be like
divided by 60
an hour and
minutes.
something.
Okay, let's see what Google has to say.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
All right, it's 1.9.
Jimmy, stop talking.
One.
I've done this problem in the past, it's just been a long time.
100 miles per hour. So I got distance, and we got this. So it would be speed over d, right?
Oh yeah, I remember how to do this
Speed
now.
over speed.
Yep.
Or something.
Okay. So we know what the total distance is. It's 2 miles. But we don't know what the total time is. So what we have to do is we have to figure out the total time for each of the 2 miles and then add it together. So that's what we're going to do. So we need the equation t equals distance divided by speed. So time equals distance divided by speed. Now, in the first mile, how far did we go? 1 mile. Now, what was the speed for the first mile?
100.
100.
So it's 100.
Okay? So the time in that case is going to be 1 divided by 100, which is going to be 0.001. Yeah.
0.01.
Yeah, 0.01.
0, 1, or
Okay.
0,
0.01. 0.01 hours. All right. Your time for mile 2. You also traveled a mile. Okay. And your speed is 1 mile per hour.
This is 1 hour.
So it took you 1 hour. All right. Now you can use that to calculate your overall speed. So the speed is going to be 2 miles, like we said. The distance is 2 miles. And
By that. Yeah.
and then you're going to divide that by the time, which is 1.01 hours. Okay? And that's going to be your calculation for your speed. So 2 divided by 1.01, that's going to give us a speed of 1.98 miles
Google search was right.
per hour. Okay?
That's funny.
Not going to have Google on the test.
Yep.
Who said?
Me.
What if the test is Google?
But we can use Google in real life.
That's what I'm saying.
Not always.
What?
All right.
Our brains are controlled by Google.
All right, so you have to find what t equals. You have to find what the time equals. So you put 1.
Now,
4.
we're also going to look at number 8. Okay? And this one's actually split into multiple parts too. So it says, what is your average speed in each of these cases? So part A says you run 100 meters at a speed of 5 meters per second. Then you walk 100 meters at a speed of 1 meter per second. Well, here's the thing. We don't know how much time each one of those took. So that's what we have to figure out. So for part A, give yourself some room here. You have the distance, you have the speed, you don't know the time. So the time is going to be distance divided by speed. So the distance for the first leg, you went 100 meters in 5 meters per second. Which means that your time was what? 20 seconds. Okay? For part 2 of part A, you went 100 meters and your speed was 1 meter per second. So that means that took you 100 seconds. So your average speed for part A is distance divided by time. Now, what's your total distance? 200 meters. You win 100 meters each leg. And then, what is your time? 120 seconds, because you had 100 seconds on the second leg and 20 seconds on the first leg. So that's 120 total seconds. So your average speed is 200 divided by 120, which is going to be 1.6 repeating, okay, meters per second. Bless you.
So that was part A.
That was part A. Okay. Now for part B. For part B, you don't know how far you went. Okay? So you're trying to solve for distance. So distance is speed times time. So for the first part, it says you run for 100 seconds at a speed of 5 meters per second. So your speed for the first part is 5 meters per second. And your time was 100 seconds. So seconds cancel out. That's going to give you 500 meters. Okay? And then for the second part of part B, same equation. You have a speed of 1 meter per second times 100. And I'm running out of room. That's going to give me 100 meters. Okay? So to calculate your overall speed, what's my total distance? 600. 100 plus 500. So 600 meters. And what is your time? What is it? 200 seconds. And that's going to give me 3 meters per second. So my average speed for the second part is 3 meters per second. So that means I move faster in part B than I did in part A. All right, now, I'm going to give you the rest of the time here to try to work out the ones that are on the front. All right, so any of the ones we didn't do, that gives you five questions. 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9.